Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacino, who's not here, but he's stopping in tomorrow, time permitting, to talk about the CPI numbers, which we're all waiting for. Hello, Wavy. Some heavy buying coming in before CPI. Yeah, the stuff is, it might come in below 7%, like at 6.7, 6.5. So we got to buy in front of the number. Like, all right, if it's not 7% inflation, it's 6.5. Like, that's going to solve anything. It's not going to change the course of the Fed. And unless the inflation came in at like 2%, that's going to change things. Yeah, crazy, crazy markets, but these are the markets. And then you had the Fed speakers today. Everything's under control. Everything's this, everything's that. Yep, NASDAQ. Yeah, it was back into full buy. It's just front running, buying high PE stuff. I don't think Facebook's done though with the decline. I think Disney now beat with subscriber growth, and I didn't see the rest of the numbers, but I know it's moving up on subscriber growth. Hello Sailing. Uber's also up. If you look, we have Disney. We'll check in on that. We'll check in on Uber. Lyft was yesterday. If there's anything else anybody else wants to check in on, let me know. I know iRobot did miss, and it's dropping after hours. By the way, before we get going, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting that ever important like button. And please leave some comments too. We're making some changes to the channel and looking to grow it even more and even faster. Also, if you think anybody else would benefit from the live streams or anything else we're putting up on this channel, please do share this content. So, what else do I think? Tomorrow morning, the big thing tomorrow morning is going to be again CPI, but I'll have to check Twitter, of course, and then two of the plays I'm really focusing on over the next few months: Coca-Cola, Pepsi, actually three, and Kellogg's. There could be some interesting plays in those longer term. So we'll definitely be looking at that. What else do we have? What else? Let me see here. Okay, just looking at the reports tomorrow. Let me switch cameras, by the way. Whoa. That is... What happened there? What happened there? What happened to my focus? Hold on one second. Hold on, this is... What happened there? That's a little better. We'll go with that for now. Okay. Tomorrow again, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. We have the trifecta. First on the major, we have the CPI and core CPI. All right, so we're going to see that. And everybody's, when I said that 7%, that's year over year. Tomorrow, we're just looking at the January inflation, but that will be rolled into year over year and unemployment claims. So that's going to be very key tomorrow. And I will be watching the 30-year bond auction in the afternoon. And then also remember, on Friday, we have consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. But the big mover is going to be tomorrow. Here's your heat map from today. Again, you had a lot of things up. Actually, PayPal finally up. People are just pouring in a lot of assets that have been beat up. Google, as we looked at yesterday, finally filled the gap. So we shall see what happens with tomorrow morning with the follow through or reversal. But there was a guess, again, most of the stuff was that I was seeing and hearing on the street was that inflation is going to come in year over year slightly below 7%. So let's buy everything. Nvidia up big time, all the chips up big time. It was like the old rah days. The old rah days. Here we go. Let's see. And you see here, there's your big rotation up in the NASDAQ, 2.21%. Here's your S&P hitting that target on the double again. What's interesting is we actually have a potential double top. If this rolls over and plays dead tomorrow, I don't know if that works with the targets, but you do have some potential double right there. So let's see. We'll get to some of these others also. Yeah. Help. Out Mike. Smash the like. The market's just turned into one big joke. This is the way it works. I mean, this is what's insane. Like, if you slightly beat under comment, nothing's going to matter. And it's just, this is why the dip buying, this is where I disagree with Bob. You know, everybody's still in full-blown dip buying. Full-blown dip buying. This was it. We're going to new highs. That's everything I hear. That's it. You know, it's not going to matter. If everything's priced in, inflation, whatever it runs, the Fed's going to do some hikes and then have to start cutting again. Not going to matter if we go into a recession. Everything's honky-dory. So that's it. Live stream over. To the upside, continued move up. We have next major area 46.23 to 46.29. So that's really it. Then above there, if it's a massive ride, 46.55 to 46.60 are those are the upside targets I'm watching. If it did get power through there, I'd have to do some intraday projections, but the next area is 47.17 roughly. Key support, you can see here just that power move, just stair-stepping higher, buying off everything tomorrow, as long as we're above about 45.77 in bullish mode. But the key support would be coming in. First area I'd be watching is about 45.46 to about 45.40 right in here. If we drop below there, then I'm just going back to about 4,500 to 45.10. Below there, 44.71 area. Maybe I'm going to adjust that just a bit to about 44.75. Then if we got below there, it's back to that 200 simple and the lows from the fourth, which are 44.38. So those are all the potential downside targets. Yeah, that does actually work. I'll keep an eye on that in case. I mean, if something shocks the market, then this isn't necessarily just for tomorrow, but close below that 44.38, 43.64, 43.28. First two targets in the move that started, and this one in the candle wicks, 42.91. So that's your downside targets longer term right there. Not yet overbought on the daily. Way overbought on the 4-hour based off this massive ramp today. So, but then again, you can keep getting overbought. So we shall see, especially with this kind of price action, returning to this also prior support becoming resistance and this area that was held up from resistance before. So we're just going to have to see. Everything's going to pivot off the report tomorrow. NASDAQ, here's your NASDAQ. Let me take some of these lines off. NASDAQ, what am I looking for tomorrow? I really need it to keep proving itself above about 15,116 area. Gets above there, then I'm targeting about 15,236 to about 260. That's the prior double target and these prior little highs back from the second. Above there, 15,318 declining 50 and significant level. Then above there, the full double target, 15,435. So those are all the upside targets. To the downside, this won't be a potential double, but to the downside, first key area I'm watching is about 14,885. We drop below that. Let's see. Then I'll watch about 14,785 to about 14,800. And below that, 14,500. So those are my downside projections. If we drop below 14,500, on something that the market did not like. 14,362 and 14,250 are my next targets lower. Dow breaking to new recent highs above the second swing high. So next target area on there is 35,910 to about 35,971. Then above there, 36,230. Bullish line in the sand for tomorrow. I need it to really stay above about 35, 35, let's just go to 35,700 roughly. 35,690, 35,700 on any pullbacks. Key area that I'm watching is about 35,500 right in here at this point. And then below that, I'm going back to about 35,270. And below that, 34,950, then 34,793 are all my levels on the Dow to the up and down side. Let's check in on Russell, then we'll take a look. Russell, so we have this double, which was confirmed and finally triggered. It's going to trigger today, essentially. 2112. Wasn't that a album? 21, 25, 50, and the prior support becoming resistance. Then above there, the second target on the double, 2142, 2174.60. Not yet an overbought. Major support on this coming in right around, your first level, so not majors, about 2056, and major support, I'd be back at 2004 to 2000. Let's see what else we have before we'll take a look at some stocks. Crude, slight little bounce again. Still watching. Still, this tomorrow on a rotation up would be a super aggressive buy signal. So I'm going to then watch if we do trigger that. I'm still watching for the ABC sort of lower moves. If we continue on down, this would just be the little pausing bar before the bigger pullback 86.50 area. Gold hitting the targets on the double. So that is done. There's your full double bottom targets. If gold continues higher, next major area 1852. Just wanted to point that out. Silver was triggered a couple days ago. Now moving up, the first target, just reminders, about 23.53. Then we have 23.76. Then 23.98. Here's your 10-year notes. What was the low today? Low today was 126.13.5. We had 126.14. We break below that. Next major area is 125.26. Let's take a look, then I'll get to everything else. Let's take a look at the yields, sort of just pausing, still below yesterday's high. What was the high today? Was about 1.965%, but holding here. Really going to be interesting to see if we do get the breakdown in yields tomorrow, depending on what the market does. My major support is back at 177. Major support, if we pull back, is 177, where I'd be looking to, that would be a nice pullback in yields to reestablish another long position. All right. Oh, let's just take a look at ratios real quick. Value growth. You can see moving up today and pretty flat. So even on a continued rally, growth is going to run into overhead resistance pretty soon. What else do people want to look at? Hello, Sailing. If I missed you before, Enphase, ENPH. All right. Enphase. Wow. Let me just did that. I think the longer term, I'd watch for a continued rollover and a gap fill on this. I mean, just off the plays that have a great probability to close below the 62.5. I'd watch for another rollover. Doesn't have to happen tomorrow, but I'd be watching for a rollover and end phase. Again, gapping up above the 200 and couldn't hold the 200. You have prior support here. This is not a bullish bar when it couldn't hold the 200 or even the 50 on a closing basis. So I'd be watching for it to return to this little breakout base and the daily rotation zone. That might actually be a good place to establish another position on that, getting it out of overbought on the daily. Coming back to this major resistance here, you can see here was support, resistance, 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 returning into support. And look at this, going back in time, major support, major resistance. What a beautiful chart. What a beautiful chart. Thank you, Sailing, for pointing out end phase. But this is, actually, I'm going to set a little alert here. I'm going to do a little more research in this one. But that's looking very interesting just from a technical perspective. By the way, we got to go through this one more time. Help out Mike. Smash the like. I just wanted to do that again. They are right back in the blind buying the dip and getting rewarded. Well, we'll see. And you know what? It's the markets. This is why you prepare upside down, and it doesn't matter what you think. You have to trade what is. Okay, reminder, you always have to prepare and trade what is. Even if you think the market's doing insane things, you have to trade what is, not what you like to happen or what you want to happen or what you think should happen. You have to trade what is. Because at the end of the day, it's the market. And this is the kind of stuff you also see at major turning points. Does this invalidate the major turning point? No. Even if it rallies tomorrow big, it does not. This is the kind of stuff everybody just rushes back in. The worst is over. Why? Because of one CPI print that's might be slightly below 7% year over year. And then the next one, we still have another print before the March Fed meeting. You still have another print. Like everybody, the markets can be insane for a very long time. And the market reactions can be insane. The amount of people calling new highs off the single rallies, if we didn't sell off this entire year. I know. I'm seeing it all again. And the stuff I follow is still about 70% that we have the highs in, but there's 30% chance that you don't have the highs in. Okay? So again, it still favors downside, but that could be all year. We could still rally up within a point of prior highs and then roll over, and we still wouldn't have made new highs. Bitcoin, you want to check out some Bitcoin? Some Bitcoin? Well, that's just going to rally. Remember, I put out that video. I was still in somewhat bullish mode. I will start watching for a potential rollover around 4,700. Now, this could get another push higher. It's tracking the NASDAQ pretty well. So if we have, again, insane rally in stuff, then I will watch maybe a slight push higher, but I'm still overall longer term in bearish mode on that after this bullish run up. Again, you don't want to step in front of it though. Weird market price action. It was just a strong trend day with, again, CPI is going to come in below 7 year over year. Do you think the big boy already knows the numbers? I don't know. I'm not going to even get into that. I think numbers in the past have been leaked. So I will say, and that has been verified, that numbers in the past have been leaked. I don't know about this one. No idea. It was just the word around the street was all day long that it's going to come in not as bad as expected. But if you look back at the Fed Watch tool, where did I put it? Look, I mean, we're still, if you look here, let me just do a refresh. So we're up to the minute with our stats. Come on. 75% versus a day ago. See, they're going to hike. It's a hike, okay? and it's still favoring a 25 basis point hike, but there's a 25% chance to 50, but you're still going to hike. So I don't know what the big deal is, but it's what everybody's watching, so that's what we have to prepare for. What else do we want to look at? Let's check Disney. Disney up to 157. Again, strong gap up. Let me see that on the weekly. Actually, back. I'm going to be watching to see how this sits in relation to the weekly rotation zone. But this could now be another set of buys. It's clearly filled the gap. It's actually did with this gapped up twice. I'm going to be watching for some backfill over the next few days or next few days to week, though, to see if there is a possible position. Uber move up. Oh, move up. By the way, this wasn't a double. This was, though, that triggered, came back down, and then moved up, but you're in a clear path move. So even if this moves up, I'd be watching a full target on Uber if you are long of about 44 to about 44.25. That's going to be a major top area, and it will hit overbought condition. So it was just another earnings play. Anything else anybody wants to look at? Let's just check in real quick before the... So Coke pulling back before earnings tomorrow, which I'm glad about. I'd really like to see a nice, decent pullback in Coke, especially to this 58 level. I would really like to see that longer term. Looks like we're also getting a possible weekly divergence. Pepsi in the comments. Coke versus Pepsi. Come on, give me. We got to do it. They're both releasing earnings tomorrow. Coke or Pepsi. Pick your poison. I'd love to see Pepsi also come back down to about 167 area. That would be really nice on a weekly basis. Wow. Come on, people. Coke versus Pepsi. Let's hear it. What else? What else? I think the rally will continue. CPI already priced in, and we have those two doubles triggered. So short term, it still favors higher prices. Can you check Pepsi pre-earnings? I didn't even see that before I went to there. Here you go, Christoph. Pepsi pre-earnings. I mean, what I don't know what to say. We have a major resistance here. Major resistance here. I'm going to be interested to see Coke and Pepsi with their inflation stuff. They talk about inflation stuff. That's really what I'm watching for. But then your support back at 166. Yep, that's key support. Cola. You're not a cola fan. Are you a Coke or Pepsi? Or is that generic cola? Anybody remember RC Cola? Royal Crown? Glass Coke, everything else other than Fanta. Okay, HFCS is poison. High fructose corn syrup. I was looking for the stock. You mean high fructose corn syrup? Yeah, I agree. It's not good for you. When I occasionally drink a Coke, which is like once a year, I get the Coke from Mexico with the cane sugar. And it's in the smaller bottles, so I really like that. I have like maybe one or two a year at most. But what's your opinion on Elliott wave analysis? I mean, I use it. I don't talk a lot about it because I was going to talk about more of it this coming year on some more advanced topics. So let me know if you want me to bring more of that in. I mean, when I did the crude thing, we actually had a nice wave 5 up here. We actually hit a lot of targets with that. That's why I'm actually watching for the bigger pullback. So let me know if any of you want more talking about some Elliott wave analysis and other stuff. Google GOD Google. Again, we filled the gap. We looked at that yesterday. Yeah, that's a buy signal. Your stop would have to be below yesterday's low, but that's an aggressive buy signal. Yep. There you go. Tell me you're a fan of Fanta. Would that be all Fanta, or are you talking Fanta orange or all Fanta flavors? It's great and sometimes the best. I mean, I don't drink. You want to know what I'm a sucker for, though? And they make it's very hard to get, but they make a cane sugar version of that. I am a Dr. Pepper fanatic, but I love the cane sugar version of that, which is very hard to find. And when I can find it, I will buy that up. Again, I am not a huge soda drinker. Although if I was going to drink, I love Diet Dr. Pepper. I did know it's not good with the chemicals in there, but I do. But then I'm just a huge Dr. Pepper fan. Can you look, Mike? You look like, what is? Could somebody explain this to me? I need clarification on that. Maybe I'm too young and still in my soda addiction days. I don't know what that was a yes to. Would you still buy MU if it pulls back to the double trigger or not, since hitting the first target already? Yeah, and I'd go even beyond. Yep, I watch for this because it's not only does that trigger your double. Let's even go with the aggressive target. I'd have to verify that, but it didn't even hit the aggressive target doubles. But you're looking at about 91.75 and 94.05. You're into a clear path move. Let's check that weekly. It did get back, but it's back above the weekly rotation zone. Catching on the 50. Let me see. Triggering a weekly buy pattern. Yeah, I'd play this to the long side. Yep. I'd still play this to the long side. Definitely. Definitely. There's nothing wrong with a continued play. From my perspective, again, can't give individual trading advice, but based off the analysis, it looks like a decent long play, even on a pullback. What would invalidate that? If it got back below, I mean, really, your bigger stop level would be about this 79.50 area with the flat 200. If it drops back below the flat 200, it's all over. But I'd easily see even above this 94. Your next target above that is about 95.50. So I could see a longer term play in this. Oh, yes to Elliot. All right, so we have sailing is a Elliot. Thanks for you. Sometimes I need clarification because I'm talking and then the comments don't show up because they're delayed, because you guys hear me on a delay. So I hear me real time. Everyone else hears me on the delay, and then they respond to stuff, but I don't know what you were responding to because sometimes I talk pretty fast. Look at ARC. Okay, well, we still have the double is still completely valid. So this didn't stop it out. It's sitting against the daily rotation zone. I'm still watching. Again, I'd easily like to see this into the weekly rotation zone. This is a fantastic long-term short, but, got overdone. And now we had that nice little double bottom. Stalling out, can't get above the daily rotation zone, but this is the second hit at it. So remember, your next target is 80.10, and then I'd be watching the next target about 82.25 because that's where the bottom of the weekly rotation zone is, and then you can even go into it. You can even get all the way back up to $90 in this with the declining rotation zone and then another rollover. Fantastic. Fantastic. I have to update this now that we've had the bigger bounce. So that's my perspective on ARC. Nothing wrong with this. This is longer term, still bearish, but short term bullish. What stocks you're watching tomorrow? Well, again, it all depends. If the Nasdaq's moving, I'll be back into watching some of the high flyers. You can watch, you know, especially things like continued follow through. Nvidia, we had the double almost to the targets. Remember, here's all right. This was a double that triggered. Stop reduction pullback, remember, to the breakout zone, and then a strong rotation back up. But this is an advanced clear path move, so things like Nvidia could still get to 283 easily. Easily. So that could be a great play. Other things that we're doing for the portfolio, probably, we're keeping a key eye on URNM. Double verified and triggered today. I'm watching for a slight pullback there, but this was not a triple yet. This was still a valid double, and I'm very bullish on uranium longer term. Okay, so and this is going to trigger a longer term buy signal right there. So I'm keeping a very close eye on uranium. There's a little tip for you. What else am I watching? What else? Oh, you want another interesting play? MSOS, even on a great longer, even though it's getting close to its double targets, I'm watching for another pullback in this for a longer term play on this. Again, watching for it to hit all the other side of the weekly rotation zone and then possibly move higher. It's a fantastic little potential cannabis play, and it's gaining some more strength, especially if they can get that banking bill passed. So that's another fun thing. And then, other things, if the NASDAQ's strong, then I'll be again watching things like Microsoft above, if it can get back above about 314. Then I'm watching for some slightly higher prices. What else do we have? Let's take let's take a look here. Where are we? This is another great thing. So, you can glance on an Apple. We already talked about Google. See, this is just a great area to watch for some of the things that were strong today for continued follow through tomorrow. Like I go take a look at chips. Chips are again, and also let's take a look at the SMH. Here you go, your SMH. Nice breakout to the upside. So a little pausing bar, pulling back that 200, and now moving up through this high into a clear. This is an advanced clear path. Raised stop area would be right around 293, and then the full targets are up in here. Remember, SMH coming off this major topping pattern, but looks semiconductors are still strong and back above the weekly rotation zone. Also, if it closes this week up here, it is a major weekly buy pattern. So anything in the semiconductors that are strong could be a fantastic play tomorrow. So I'm thinking, well, the probabilities still stay for more upside, period, just because we have those doubles in play. But everything's up for grabs tomorrow. You got to go longer term. I'm bearish. Shorter term, if I had to pick on something, just because we got those doubles still in play and you have some of these key things breaking to the upside, I'd be short term bullish, longer term bearish. So yeah, Nvidia. So that could be the plays tomorrow, especially with strong markets. Now everything's going to depend on those 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central numbers. So that's where I'm sitting. I'm not seeing much else. Thank you for everyone. Let me know. Again, more changes coming to the channel. So please do, if you're not already here, please do consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and ringing that bell. I will be doing a morning stream tomorrow. A morning stream, yes. And again, let me know what else, other additions. I'm going to be putting out some more beginner content which even if you're more advanced, I think you should watch because there might be one thing I say that you have not heard before. What if CPI comes in as expected? I'm just going to have to see how the market reacts. I'm not going to try to predict whether, I mean, I told you, it still favors from a probability slightly higher prices in the short term. Okay, that's all I can say. I'm not a crystal ball. Everything I do has to go off probabilities. Okay, so if you were forcing me to bet, I'd bet on a little continued higher prices tomorrow. And now if CPI misses horribly, like comes in at 8% or 8.5%, then you'll see the markets react to the downside. But if it comes in line or slightly better than expected, I think the rally continues. There's my little thing. With that, we will wrap it up. Again, let me know in Discord, reach out to me, even in email, other things you'd like to see with the channel. Amazon is the only mega stock trading at such a high multiple. Well, what you consider a high multiple? I think we have a different opinion on high multiples. Tesla's trading at a high multiple. Where's Microsoft? I'm expecting longer term this year. A lot of these things like Apple, where's the multiples now? Let's see. More financials. Apple 29. That's still a high multiple to me. I'm expecting that to return to 17 this year. So that's a high multiple. Put up your offerings soon. I know you mentioned one-on-one mentoring and some other things. Apple inverse head and shoulders. On what time frame? Inverse head. This? No. Again, please. No, this is not. Your shoulder, head, shoulder. Why is it not? Can anybody tell me why? I've talked about this. Why this is not a head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders. Does anybody know who's a longer term viewer? Because it is a reversal pattern. It is not reversing enough of a move. This is just a breakout above prior resistance. Yeah. Well, it is a bottoming pattern, but it's not reversing enough move. So this is only reversing this little move. And my targets would be way beyond that. That's why you can't use it. It's not it's just a pattern. Now, all I trade is you're breaking back above key resistance becoming support. But your targets then, the first targets for me are these most recent high areas above the harmonics. So I can't go, and then above there, you're better to use your harmonic targets. Okay, you're not advised to use double targets because they don't test out well. That's why. With that, I will call it a day. Thank you for joining. Please, if you're not going to join me on the Company That Shall Not Be Named live stream, please consider watching for the market preview tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. starts the countdown timer Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Until then, I will talk to everyone later. Bye.